Hello and welcome back to my channel. Are rest stops my number one choice? I'm going to make the case. So are rest stops my preferred place for overnighting and or just hanging out a little bit? I would say they're definitely one of the best. And I guess there's some good reasons why I might even rank it number one. Now, real quick, it might seem like an obvious choice or even cliche, but if you're traveling the interstates, yeah, it's an obvious choice because they're right on the interstates. I've even driven to rest areas even when I'm in an area for a little while, just because it's yet another choice of a place to go. Also, I'm in a season of life where I'm traveling a lot, so it does make more sense for me. And of course, this might not apply to you. I would say too, culturally, it's more of a traveler situation, a driver culture, versus like a city culture, hanging out in an area. It's just got that vibe of travel to it. All right, and these reasons are in no particular order, but I'm going to put number one is bathrooms, because I don't have one in this vehicle right now other than, the ubiquitous pee bottle. And then I do have up in the upper box, I've got a portable toilet. But it's just much easier to be overnighting in a place with a bathroom. And you could compare rest areas to park and rides, which is another place that I often utilize, but the average park and ride does not have a bathroom. Okay, number two reason is that they're usually pretty safe and well lit. Now, compared to your average parking lot, are they safer? I guess it all depends, and more about that later. But in general, you don't have people just kind of hanging out or zooming around. I've had that in parking lots where people are just zooming around in cars or motorcycles, getting crazy, getting rowdy. You don't typically see that at rest areas. Number three is I could run the climate control all night long if I want, without the noise bothering people or even arousing suspicion that someone's in the van. So for comparison, if I was staying at a campground, I'm not going to be running the climate control at a campground with the engine kicking on and off all night. You just don't do that. Number four is they're pretty private. I would say that's a sometimes thing. Are there less people in cars here than at a parking lot? Again, it depends. I've been in some very busy rest areas depending on the location and the time of day. Also, if you're in a big enough parking lot, you can park away from the other cars and have some semblance of privacy there too. Number five are other amenities that are handy. Oftentimes there's good cell service because you're near a freeway. And that's always a big plus to have the good service. Oftentimes they'll have picnic tables, which is handy for cooking, garbage and recycling. And sometimes they'll have areas of shade, which is great when the sun is out and you want to cool down. Now, of course, a lot of parking lots have shade too, so it's not unique to rest areas, but it is a nice thing. The next one is you can usually hang out as long as you want to, whether that's overnighting or just, hanging out for a while. Now, that's not 100% true. I've been in some rest areas where they do limit the amount of time you're there. There's signs and such, and of course you should respect that. But I would put it on parallel with like visiting a public library. There's no expectation that you have to buy anything or spend any money versus, hanging out in the parking lot of a certain store or whatever. All right, let's finish up with some downsides. The number one downside for me, sometimes they're pretty noisy with cars coming and going. I've also had semis idling somewhat nearby, so it can be a loud place. And then what I alluded to before about, are they safer than public parking lots? Well, sometimes rest areas don't have a very good reputation for safety. So that is something to keep in mind. Situational awareness is key no matter where you are. And the last one I would say, they're not glamorous in any way. Similar to Walmart parking lots, 24-hour gym parking lots. It's not like it's an amazing location. Although, to be fair, there are some rest areas that are actually pretty beautiful. I was just at one in Minnesota by Duluth. It's up on a hill and it's got a good view of the lake area, city area. And there have been some other ones. There's one in Chattanooga that's really gorgeous. So it's not like they're all, generic and boring, but to be fair, most are. Okay, that's it for this. Just wanted to get my thoughts out. And let me know in the comments if you have any thoughts about rest areas. Are they your number one? I think they are mine, at least for this time of my life and traveling so much. So take care. Thanks for watching.